today's news, the BVI records its first COVID-19 related death for 2022 as active cases surpass 600. Total COVID-19 related deaths now at 40.
Actress Salma Pinault rings in the new year in the BVI, says she's ready for new adventures.
And cases in the BVI could reach unprecedented numbers if the Omicron variant is detected among present COVID spike in the territory.
And founder of PAW BVI Natasha Ruscheinski to receive British Empire Medal.
And the Immigration and Trade Departments among departments closed to physical services today, with both operating remotely. These and more stories when 284 News return.
You value traditions.
Today.
You value music. You value education. Family.
I love you.
Service.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Love. Life. At Popular, we're committed to you and everything our community values. For the things you value the most, count on us. Popular.
Welcome everybody. It's Tuesday, January 4th, 2022, the first official working day in the new year. A happy Tuesday to each and every one of you. I'm Ron Grant.
And viewers, I'm Kamal Haynes, and today we start today's newscast on a somewhat of a very sad note, where a 71-year-old male became the territory's first COVID-19 related death for the year 2022, taking the COVID-19 related death total to 40 as active positive cases surpassed 600 in the BVI. But this is according to the Ministry of Health and Social Development, which confirmed on Monday, January 3rd, that the deceased, who had underlying conditions and long-standing medical problems, passed on New Year's Day. Well, expressing condolences to the family and loved ones of the elderly male was Minister for Health Carvin Malone, who said he was deeply saddened by the loss of lives due to the coronavirus. What the release said, and I quote, "But the deceased is a 71-year-old male with multiple underlying conditions and long-standing medical problems," end quote. While in the meantime, the active positive cases in the British Virgin Islands continue to rise, with cases now totaling 601, with approximately 80% on the island of Tortola. Of the 601, some 480 have been recorded on Tortola, 112 on Virgin Gorda, 5 on Anegada, 4 on Jos Van Dyke, and 1 on a vessel. But the ministry also confirmed that 12 patients were admitted to the Dr. D. Orlando Smith Hospital with COVID and were at the time on high-flow oxygen. But the ministry also said that there were no ICU admissions during their statement. Well, meanwhile, Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Ronald Georges said the present cases appear to be milder, but warned that it is still too early to form a strong opinion on the clinical characteristics of the outbreak. Well, he said COVID samples continue to be sent to CARFA for genetic typing to determine if the Omicron variant is present. Dr. Georges said, and I quote, "Persons are encouraged to take COVID-19 seriously. Sick persons should isolate themselves and seek to get tested by rapid antigen test or PCR. At this present time, we are recommending that persons isolate for a minimum period of 10 days and with resolution of any fever for at least 24 hours. All unvaccinated persons should get vaccinated, and all persons who are already 3 months after their last vaccination should have a booster. Higher levels of neutralizing antibodies in the population will both reduce spread and severity of illness at the individual and population levels," end quote. Around over the weekend, we would have seen somewhat of a, this was somewhat shocking, you know, obviously, yes. The turn of a new year, and yet we see another COVID-19 death. Up until 2021, prior to July, there was only one death, and then we would have seen somewhat of a situation where cases were rising, similar to what we're seeing today, and then following that, you know, we would have seen a vast majority of deaths within a short span of less than 2 months.
Kamal, the death, unfortunate death, and all of the deaths are unfortunate. I do believe that one death is too many. We need to, just like Dr. Georges said, continue to really take the pandemic and the coronavirus extremely seriously. We are a small territory, so every death and every case severely impacts our territory in more than one way. Viewers, on to a more positive note. Poised between the boulders at the world-renowned Bats on Virgin Gorda, British Virgin Islands, actress Salma Hayek took to her Instagram page, wishing the world a happy new year from one of the Virgin Islands' premier beaches. Now, in her message, the actress said to her followers, "May this new year bring you the awareness of your own strength. Happy, healthy 2022." She then posted another photo walking through the bats with the caption, "Ready for new adventures." Now, the Mexican and American actress established herself in Hollywood with appearances in films such as Desperado, 1995, From Dusk Till Dawn, 1996, Wild Wild West, 1999, and Dogma, 1999. The Emmy winner joins the long list of celebrities who vacation in the British Virgin Islands. Recently, Paris Hilton enjoyed a vacation at Mosquito Island Oasis Estate. We were absolutely honored to have her in the British Virgin Islands. Kamal, moments like this truly solidify and really encapsulate the beauty and intelligence of our environment, the captivating aura that the Virgin Islands have. And I think once we continue to create meaningful experiences, not only celebrities, but more persons around the world will continue to be impacted and come and enjoy our territory.
Indeed, I mean, we would have had a number of other celebrities who would have also been in the territory during that period as well. Just a little bit more low-key with their
of course.
Disguises. We would have seen somewhat of a number of mega yachts off the island of Virgin Gorda,
Yes.
basically congregating, you know, in a small circle, basically, you know, and we would see a situation where oftentimes, you know, celebrity chooses to come to the BVI because it's one of the leading destinations here in the Caribbean. You know, so much to offer regarding so many beautiful sceneries, as well as the culture and the people. I think that's one of the main factors that a lot of persons tend to comment on when coming to the BVI regarding the tourism product. So it's all about ensuring that, you know, they continue to keep the crime at a very low level. We should continue to encourage persons to come to the territory, as well as, you know, what the Ministry of Health have been doing in the past in terms of managing the COVID situation. But those are two key factors that basically determine, you know, whether persons will continue to come to the BVI. Well, viewers, up next, cases in the BVI could reach unprecedented numbers if the Omicron variant is detected among present COVID spike in the territory. And founder of Paul BVI, Natasha, Helen, Ruscheinski, to receive British Empire Medal. Well, these and more stories after a word from our sponsors.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today.
Is business slow, cash flow down, hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
Well, welcome back, viewers. Well, at least one local health professional has warned that if the Omicron variant of the COVID-19 vaccine virus is found to be associated with the present COVID spike in the British Virgin Islands, cases could surge to unprecedented numbers, surpassing the 1,600 mark as reported last July. But this is according to the acting chief medical officer, Dr. Ronald Georges, who made a comment during a recent published statement. But Dr. Georges said that while the Omicron version of the COVID-19 virus has not yet been detected in the territory, authorities are still continuing to send positive samples to be tested to determine the variants associated with the present outbreak in the BVI. Well, he said, and I quote, "Well, as previously mentioned, all samples previously sent to CARFA for typing were positive for the Delta variant, and over the last 2 weeks, more than 90 samples were sent for genetic typing to determine if the Omicron variant has been introduced into the territory. At this time, the Omicron variant has not yet been identified in the territory." He added, "If this outbreak is found to be related to the Omicron, we can expect a sharper and quicker increase in cases than in previous outbreaks. Evidence suggests that Omicron results in milder disease, fewer hospitalizations, less severe disease, and less death than Delta, but leads to many more infections, end quote. But the acting CMO also said the Ministry of Health will be monitoring hospitalizations very closely. He said this will include the reasons for hospitalizations and the severity of illnesses to gauge the progress of the present spike in the BVI. But he said, and I quote, "Well, we must be cognizant of the fact that the Virgin Islands has very high rates of obesity and chronic diseases, and persons in this category have a much higher rate of severe disease, hospitalization, and death, and so any outbreak is cause for concern," end quote. In the meantime, Dr. Georges encouraged residents to get vaccinated and for those who are already vaccinated to get their booster shot. But he said the booster doses offer very good protection against the severe impacts of COVID-19, including variants. Well, he said, and I quote, "We are urging all of you to therefore avail yourselves of opportunities to be vaccinated with either the AstraZeneca or Pfizer or receive your booster dose. If you have completed your primary 2 or 1 dose regime of at least 3 months ago, you should seek to have your Pfizer booster dose. If you are severely immunocompromised from chemotherapy, high-dose steroids, or other reasons, you should have a 3rd dose of Pfizer, and 3 months later, your booster dose of Pfizer," end quote. But the acting CMO also said that the AstraZeneca version of the vaccine is available for those with demonstrated allergy to the Pfizer version. We're on here again, we see the acting CMO basically warning of the dangers of the Omicron version of the virus should it enter the pathways of the BVI. And I mean, obviously the likelihood of that occurring is very high, considering that we would see that cases have been detected in our neighboring United States Virgin Islands. We have seen cases in Trinidad, we have seen cases in Jamaica and other parts of the Caribbean basically. So it's only a matter of when will it get here, and to be ensured that the people of the territory and businesses here and the ministry, etc., are well prepared to basically deal with the advent of that gracing the territory. And that is ultimately what we see the acting CMO basically warning the public of. Just giving you somewhat of an insight of the possibilities of what could happen and what could transpire should the Omicron version of the COVID-19 virus make its way to the territory, BVI.
Kamal, as you said, it's simply a matter of time, and the preparation is necessary on all fronts to ensure that if and when this variant is to come to the territory, we are as best prepared as possible. I think the concerns by the acting CMO are warranted, and I think that we should continue, based on the record that we've seen across the region, be very much on high alert and concerned. One of the things that is extremely scary is not only the effect on lives, but livelihood. Business owners throughout the community have had perhaps one of the most daunting and traumatic few years possible. And once again, we see where this rise and spike in cases is affecting not only our businesses, but our education system. Students are now forced to go back online for we don't know how long. And these are all safety measures, but it does have a severe domino effect. And we have to essentially take all of these aspects into consideration.
And when you think, I mean, a lot of persons would have projected that the year 2022 would have been a year where there would have been well, I should say where there would be a great return to some form of normalcy or to the new norm post-COVID. But we see here again, similar to the year 2021, as soon as the year turned, new variants discovered and more increase in places where cases once were just at a minimum. And now we are seeing again here in the BVI, the cases basically rising again for the second time. This will be the second major spike. And in other parts, for example, the United States Virgin Islands, where the cases are also rising. And we see also in the UK and the US, where cases continue to rise by the tens of thousands daily. And today, they would have a report discovered a new variant where now the scientists now have to determine, the strength of this particular variant. How potent is it in terms of
in comparison to the others,
to the others, and as well, the impact vaccines will have on this. So much happening. The virus continues to basically mutate and evolve, and that has posed somewhat of a very challenging exercise for scientists, for health professionals, and for businesses, and the overall for populations and economies.
On to some very positive news. Miss Natasha Ruscheinski, the founder of PAW BVI, promoting animal welfare, is the territory's newest recipient of the British Empire Medal, BEM, in the Queen's New Year 2022 honors list for her contributions, significant contributions to animal welfare. Now, shortly after her arrival in the territory in 2011, Ms. Ruscheinski saw a major need to provide free spaying and neutering to address the issue of the many homeless dogs and cats within the territory. In 2014, Natasha established PAW BVI, a registered non-profit charitable organization which is 100% reliant on fundraising. With the support of unpaid volunteers and the veterinarian team at cats, that's canines, cats, and critters, she created a spay and neuter program to be offered free of charge for those unable to pay veterinary fees, with the intention of reducing the number of unwanted litters being born, and so the number of animals vulnerable to abuse, poisoning, and starvation. Now, with costs, of course, exceeding some $12K per month for PAW surgeries, health checks, and emergency assistance, she inspires her team to volunteer, to help fundraise and raise awareness, and to, of course, encourage community to foster animals in their homes with the aim of socializing them for future adoptions. Now, to date, PAW BVI has sponsored and organized and spaying and neutering of over 3,000 dogs and cats in the Virgin Islands. Natasha has also created relationships with a network of no-kill animal rescues, primarily in the United States, and PAW has successfully sent some 1,383 dogs and cats to these facilities to date through the Paws in the Air program. Now, in 2017, after the hurricanes and the global pandemic also led to the abandonment of many dogs and cats in the territory, she has worked tirelessly with her network, including the government of the Virgin Islands, to arrange rescue flights overseas to take many of these animals to a better life, including those that had been in the local shelter for extended periods, sometimes years. Support has also been extended to owners struggling financially to provide necessary care, including supplying pet food. Now, a bit closer to us in a time frame, just to put her success into perspective, in 2020, a new rehabilitation center known as the PAW Barn was opened to assist with recovery and rehabilitation for foster animals needing specialist care. His Excellency Governor John Ranking, CMG, said, and I quote, "Natasha has worked relentlessly as a campaigner to improve animal welfare. Through PAW BVI, she has helped to save and improve the lives of thousands of animals, whether they are unwanted, abandoned, injured, or victims of natural disaster. Despite testing times over the last 7 years, she has continued to lead a magnificent team of volunteers and work with other organizations to help meet challenges faced by owners and animals alike. I like," he said, "to offer my warm congratulations to her for receiving this award, which rightfully recognizes her achievements in the territory." Now, Natasha said she is immensely proud of what PAW BVI has achieved through their though there is still much more work to be done. She said, and I quote, "I am humbled by this award, but it is not mine alone. There have been numerous special people who have supported PAW on our mission, and I would like to thank each person who has helped over the years. Animal welfare is not just about the animals, it has a far-reaching impact on community as a whole, and we have seen the positive effects on the families we have worked with. Spaying and neutering remains the most effective way of humanely controlling the animal population." Now, Kamal, this is quite a proud moment and significant one that is for Miss Natasha Ruscheinski. I want to take this opportunity to really highlight her quest to really take animal welfare into perspective. It is something that many persons in the Caribbean still don't take personally, and they still don't take it seriously. But when you look at the significant number of stray animals who are abandoned, sick, and just really left to roam, I think we need to holistically look at what she has contributed to these islands and give her her props in which she has been significantly contributing to the territory. Quite remarkable work.
And I totally agree with you. I mean, works such as that, she would be a total humanitarian from the perspective of, you know, doing something that a lot of persons, as you said, usually overlook.
Yeah, turn a blind eye to.
And what we see here in the BVI, we see somewhat of a lot of persons tend to acquire these animals and then sometimes due to situations beyond their control, they are made to leave the territory. Yes. And then of course they have to, not have to, but they choose to abandon, their dogs. And when you have someone such as her, basically, taking the responsibility to ensure that, these dogs, their lives matter as well, and ensuring that they're basically, that she puts somewhat of a measures in place to ensure that they're taken care of. And kudos to also the volunteers, as she would have said. Yes. It's not only her that's a pivotal part of the organization. She is the brainchild of the organization, but also the many volunteers that come forward. And I know based off communicating with some persons in the organization, they continue to basically ask for persons to continue come forward to volunteer, to give the dogs some walks, when the days comes, and allow, the dogs to at least feel welcome and feel at home too. So kudos to her, and to receiving a well-deserving award. Well, viewers, up next, top cop Mark Collins expresses gratitude to the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force officers and staff on a successful year, and the Immigration and Trade Departments, among government departments, to close to physical services today, with operations operating mostly remotely. Well, we get to these stories when 284 News return.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a brand new season of The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, a show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. It doesn't always involve suits and, bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men. This season, I'm taking you on an entirely different journey, from chefs to dancers, philanthropists, communications specialists, and much more. I'm heading outside in the field to share the journey of some of the BVI's best and brightest men. From East End to West End, Bojangada, Justin Lake, not forgetting Anigata. Our Virgin Islands gentlemen are doing the damn thing, and I'm so proud. Get ready to reason, reflect, and redirect. We are the movers and shakers of this generation, and we ain't afraid to show it. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, Season 3 by yours truly, Ron Grant, raising a generation of greatness.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Viewers, welcome back. Thanks so much for sticking with us. Now continuing on the local scene, recapping on a very active year for the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force. Commissioner of Police Mark Collins shared his gratitude to officers and staff for their great achievements and contributions in 2021 in an email to members of staff of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force. Now, he noted that the collective work has resulted in a decline in reported crimes and high detection rate. He said, and I quote, "We have arrested and charged persons in connection with 5 of the 9 murders which occurred over the last 2 years. In fact, a total of 20 suspects were charged with murder, attempted murder, illegal possession of firearm, robbery, and other related offenses. Additionally, we have confiscated over 2 tons of cocaine, 30 firearms, 1,650 rounds of ammunition, hundreds of thousands of dollars believed to be generated from proceeds of criminal conduct, along with a quantity of counterfeit notes, well over 150 motorbikes, uprooted marijuana fields, and recaptured an escaped prisoner who was wanted locally and overseas in connection with several serious offenses. Now, this, he said, can be only remitted to exceptional and excellent work by all concerned." Now, he noted that while the net effect of retirements and resignations, interdictions within the force, and the impact of COVID worsened an already serious manpower problem and serious human resource strain on every single department of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force, officers and civilian staff collectively pulled together, set new records, and make the territory safer. He said, "I am quite aware that none of this has happened by chance, but rather as a direct result of hard work, commitment, and dedication. With that said, I want to express my heartfelt thanks to each and every one of you. Your contributions, no matter the quantity, has acutely positioned us to be seen as an organization which is making a positive impact and a difference in the BVI community. That's the words in gratitude expressed by top cop himself, Mark Collins. Quite a bit going on has happened within the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force. A very, very turbulent year, but they continue to do their best, and we want to take this opportunity to also commend him and his team for their hard work.
Indeed, Ron. We recently spoke about Commissioner Collins'
Yes.
new style of
In our
policing
years
force.
in review news.
Yeah, and we spoke to some of the work he has done, and here we can see what again, the good work he has been doing. I know, despite the fact that he did say that there is a shortage in manpower, and with the recent interdictions and resignations, etc., it basically makes that bad situation even worse. But I'm sure that the police force and the governor's office, who's responsible for the police force, will be putting measures in place to ensure that that gap is filled with some more officers being enrolled to fill that gap.
Absolutely.
Viewers, moving to our final story, where both the Immigration and Trade Departments were reportedly closed to physical operations today, January 4th, and operated remotely. But this is according to two separate media bulletins from the Immigration Department and the Department of Trade, which were issued today. But the Immigration Department said their closure will be short-lived, as physical services will resume from tomorrow. What they said, and I quote, "But the public is advised that the administration unit of the Immigration Department will be providing remote services on Tuesday, January 4th. Physical operations will resume on Wednesday, 5 January. In the interim, persons can call 468-4700 or email the Immigration Department at immigrationinfo@gov.vg," end quote. And meanwhile, the Department of Trade said their closure to in-person services will continue for the remainder of the week, with normal operations scheduled to resume from next Monday. Well, they said, and I quote, "But the public is advised that the Department of Trade will provide limited remote services only from Tuesday, January 4th to Friday, January 7th. Physical operation will resume on Monday, January 10th. In the interim, persons can email bvitrade@gov.vg." Our viewers, following those two published bulletins, the Lands Unit of the Land and Survey Department also basically stated that they too will be only operating remotely until Monday, January 10th as well. So those three departments in their bulletins did not specify the reason behind their abrupt shift to offering remote services. However, a number of other businesses, as of recent, have been shifting to providing remote services in light of the present COVID-19 spike in the BVI, which has now surpassed the 600 mark, with 601 active cases last reported yesterday, January 3rd. Around here again, we see somewhat of a
Domino effect, yeah.
I would say a domino effect, but still, we are still speculating, as we haven't confirmed as yet the reason behind the closure, but we can only suspect that it has something to do with the current COVID climate in the BVI. I did reach out to the minister responsible. He will be getting back some information to me regarding at least the Immigration Department, where we can find out, what is the cause of such. But the Immigration Department is scheduled to resume tomorrow. However, it's the other two departments, the Department of Trade and the Lands Unit of the Land and Survey Departments, who will be closed for in-person services until next Monday. Hopefully, that's in the first instance. We know how these things can go as the COVID situation is fluid, So we do wish that those services resume as soon as possible, because we know there are a lot of persons who tend to rely heavily on in-person services, in light of the not being able to access certain, technologies, and some of these government departments are not yet fitted to provide strictly remote services where persons no longer need to go into the office. Well, viewers, well, that's it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for daily news updates at 284media.com and like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Kamal Haynes.
And I'm Ron Grant. It is always a pleasure bringing you the daily happenings. Today was covered with local, but of course we do regional and international as well. Do have a happy Tuesday to each and every one of you. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.